Greetings, this is Jeff from Enjoy Life Traveling, coming to you today from Icon of the Seas. This is day 4 of our journey, and I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of my view, my take on what I think of the ship and the positives and the negatives that I've seen so far. And if you've been on the ship before, I'd like your input on that as to what you think, if you've had similar experiences. But I wanted to go over the positives and the negatives that I've seen and share this if you're considering going on the ship, so you know if this is something maybe you want to do or not. So the first thing that I've really noticed is that it does not feel like there's 7,000 other people here with me. It definitely feels they've spread things out in a way that keeps things flowing, and you don't feel like you're just trapped with people, if you know what I mean. If you've cruised before, you probably know what I mean there. It just doesn't have that incredibly busy feeling to it. I haven't had a day yet to where I felt like that. Somehow they've managed to just keep things right as far as the locations and how you get there, the timing of some of the events that are on there. Maybe it works out for them, but they've got it figured out to where there's really, even when we let out of the show, that they have the Wizard of Oz on this sailing or on this ship. A lot of times you leave the theater and you kind of feel like it's just sort of a choke point as you're trying to leave the theater, even on the smaller ships. And I really don't know why, but it almost felt like, to me anyway, the theater was a little smaller. So I'm kind of wondering if they have, they have more shows going on, because the theater itself didn't feel as big as some of them that I've been in. I could be wrong there, but it wasn't the feel of it. Now, I will have videos coming out about an Icon of the Seas ship tour that'll be out shortly, as well as a separate casino tour and what games I would recommend playing. So you can keep an eye out for that. But as far as some other perks here is that, going about the casino, is that it's kind of sectioned off. Instead of having, say, like on the Oasis class, to where you've got this little casino that's your non-smoking, or the main casino, it's supposed to be like half smoking, half non-smoking, and of course the smoke doesn't obey the rules and crosses over. So they've done a pretty good job with that. They've got, I won't say there's a barrier that is there. I say barrier, there's a wall that's there, but I mean, you just walk right through. It's open enough. But it's lowered enough that I think that some of the smoke that maybe is rising doesn't just waft directly into the other casino, which is immediately after it there. And again, you'll see what I'm talking about, when you get on the ship, or when you at least see the tour that's coming up that I'm going to give you. But even in the smoking part of the casino, because one of the games that I'll be talking about on that video, well, a couple of the games, it's in the smoking area, and my clothes do not smell like they just, have been drenched in smoke. You probably know what I'm talking about if you spend any time in the casinos here. That was one of the first things that I noticed. I'm like, oh, I don't smell like I'm just caked in smoke. So in the smoking area, they've done a pretty good job of filtering out that to where it's not going to necessarily choke you out. And that's a good thing as far as I'm concerned. I haven't seen a whole lot of ashtrays, so I don't know exactly, maybe that's a part of it, is they don't got the sitting ashtrays around and buckets of them that are gathering old butts. But someone that doesn't smoke like myself, that's usually one of the things. You're sitting with the machine, someone asks if they can have that ashtray, please take it. So I haven't had that problem here. The smoking, they've done a good job as far as however they're ventilating it and separating the casino it's not really even in half. They've actually dedicated, at least I feel like most of the casino is dedicated to the non-smoker, and they've got tables on both sides. So no matter what you're after, you can have smoking or non-smoking, enjoy your table games just the same. So if you are traveling and it's families kind of a thing, the ship has done a great job. That's probably the biggest focus on this ship is catering to the families. So there's a lot of areas that will support having, the kids and that kind of thing, that just It's very open and kid-friendly in that regard. I don't necessarily mean that it's not as friendly for the adults, but I think if I'm gonna go into the negatives, well, I won't even get there yet. I'll explain that when I get into the negatives. I'll kind of keep it separated here. So one of the other things, the first thing I really noticed was that when I got to the room, they have got the bathroom figured out. I'll definitely do a room tour for Icon. I'm just in an interior room. The room itself is smaller, but everything is proportioned well. But that area that is the bathroom, it's like, finally, you figured this out. It's not rocket science. There's actually room to be in the shower and move a little bit. And again, I'm just in the least expensive cabin here. And, things are separated where it makes some sense. There's a place to even sort of sit there in the shower if that's what you want to do, or you put your foot onto whatever you're going to do. And above there is some towels that are back and high enough, to where you can turn off the water and get the towel and everything's dry and you can dry off and then get out. It's a glass enclosure, which you'd expect, that kind of slides out from the middle and allows you to go in and out. It doesn't necessarily swing all the way, so it doesn't take up quite as much space when you're opening and closing it. So I really thought that was a nice plus. And there's just room. I mean, yes, you can still sit on the toilet and wash your hands, but I think that's with all. But even that, at least there's a little bit more room, just a little bit more room. They did a good job with it. I'm eager for you to see that video there. As far as I'm concerned, it's well thought out. If there's a lot of room, this room that I'm in now, this is my cabin. It is not one that's going to hold a bunch of kids. This is a room for two, or in my case, it's got the two pushed together there. I don't know how they'd separate it the way they've got this set up. I don't know how that would work. Maybe the whole thing slides, but I don't know. You can watch that video there. I won't move the camera around and switch subjects. But everything is proportioned well in here, and I don't, again, granted I'm by myself on this cruise, but I don't feel claustrophobic in here. I feel good about the room. I'm very comfortable. It's pretty clean, and thumbs up on that. Something that Royal Caribbean does, and it seems to be on most ships, and they've kept it here, is that the service is pretty darn good. Even to the point of, right now we are in Roatan, and the forecast changed to just rain all day. Now, normally, the policies is that if you're not going to take your excursion, you're going to lose out. Sometimes circumstances will give you maybe a discount or let you make some changes, but you can make full changes within 2 days, even canceling it. Well, the rain came in. I got ready, everything to go. Had the suntan lotion on, my bag packed. I went to Central Park to have breakfast, and I could tell it had been raining. So I checked my phone, and it's supposed to rain all day. Great. Is what it is. So I go, after breakfast, I go down to the customer service desk. They tell me to just go to the shore excursions desk, and they can handle it better. So I'm kind of in my head saying they're going to tell me, no, you can't do it. Which, again, I was going to go there to film, but I don't want to spend, $100 if it's going to rain on me and I can't get my equipment out, or just have a miserable time because it's raining. And you had to take, if I understand correctly, you had to take a boat to get to where I was going there. So anyway, I was hoping to bring you the video. That one's not going to happen because I canceled it. But the good news is, shore excursion, they did not give me any flack, which I've seen that in the past, to where they said, I'm sorry, I can't do that, and given me some, as far as I was concerned, some BS reasons on it. There's a video out on that. But anyway, they said, no problem, and took the tag that they give you, said, no problem, it's taken care of, we'll credit it back. So $100 back, and I didn't have to worry about the excursion. Instead, I'm in the room and I'm making this video right now because I thought this would be a good chance to talk about some of the things on the ship and some of the positives. And speaking of positives, there's and I kind of touched, I guess, a little bit, and it doesn't feel overcrowded, but there's just a lot of space. It seems like between everything, even in the hallways to walk to your room, it seems like there's some spaces that are just, it's a little bit roomier. and in any of the halls, or you're waiting for the elevators, there's room, and it hasn't really felt packed. And they've got the elevators here. I guess they're smart elevators or whatever, and you touch the screen and what deck you're going to, tells you which elevator to go to. You can stand there, it comes up, opens up, people go out, people go in, and it takes you to your destination and anything that might be on the way that somebody else was going in that direction, up or down. Overall, that system has worked pretty good. Maybe a little bit of a wait to get the elevator to get to you with the ins and outs of what's going on, but not terrible. I think it's an improvement. If there's a negative, I'll go ahead and give you this one, is that I don't know why, but it seems like the people on the ship don't understand that you let people off before you get in. So the elevators have a lot of room, but as I'm walking off, people are just coming right in. You're going, really, people? Come on now. This isn't like a class you need to take. Is that for elevator etiquette? Come on. But yeah, that's a little bit of a thing there. I don't know, maybe it's a one-off on this cruise, but yeah, the elevators, they're very spacious, but it just seems like people tear right in and don't let anybody get a chance to get off the darn elevator. As far as some of the newer venues go, what's it, Elite Supper? I'm getting the name wrong. I know I am. I'll add it in here and put it in the words above. Nice little venue there. It's got kind of music area, and it's exclusive in that, you're paying for it, so that's the exclusive. But there's, I want to say, and again, you'll see that in the tour, it didn't feel like there was maybe 20 tables in the whole place, and it was small, intimate. It looked like it'd be a lot of fun. I know it's a little more expensive. It's definitely an experience. As a matter of fact, as from what I understand, even if you get the dining package, you still have to pay more on top of the dining package to go to this place. That part I don't like, but I wasn't going to buy it anyway, so no big deal, I guess, on my end. But yeah, to me anyway, if you're going to say it's unlimited dining, don't start tacking on extra money for it if you ain't going to put it in there to begin with as a part of it. Again, my 2 cents. I know I'm off on another tangent. So again, I could go on and on, so I just want to kind of touch on the ones that gave me that first impression of just what it's been like midway through, going, okay, I wish they'd have done this, or this was great. And so I'm not going to necessarily go over everything. I don't want the video to be, an hour long of every little detail. So I'll jump into a couple of things I think that they could have done differently. I wish they'd have done differently. Again, just my opinion. And the one that really jumped out to me first was there's no solarium. So there is an adult-only area, but it's not the solarium. And so what they've done is, it's nice, don't get me wrong there, but I felt like with all the stuff they've added for the families and the kids, it would have been very easy to make an area or more areas that are just for adults to be able to get away. And I felt like they missed the mark there. So there is a bar area that's outside. That is the adults only, but it's like right there to where all the stuff that's going on, because it's an outdoor venue. It's right next to everything else that's going on with the kids. It's outdoors. So it's all kind of right there. And the pool area is nice. Got that little overlook that's there. You may have seen some of the videos that I think the one guy had almost fallen off there because he dropped his hat or something or another and tried to dive after it. And luckily they put a guard there that stops people from doing stupid stuff. But the area, I think, could have been better in itself if they would host some events, say, that were more adults only. If you've been on Virgin Voyages, they do some things, their parties, like the red party will start outside and then bring it inside into a different area, the nightclub area. And I felt like, at least at this juncture, they're kind of missing the ball there to be able to do some events that would be more of a fun party adult thing. But they really can't do too much with that because, again, you're right there with where your kids are. They're just like one level up and can look down. And then if someone's wearing something that's a little bit, risque or acting like an adult that's had too much to drink, that's probably not what they're after. But again, even with that, not having the solarium, to me, having the solarium is great, because that outside area, if it's raining, doesn't do you much good. I mean, and to get to it is, you have to go up and over and down and around. If you are mobility challenged, I don't know how you get there. I mean, you have to get stairs. There's stairs. There's no way that I know of. And I asked, and I said, oh, it's just one in, one out. But there's the stairs to go to get to that. And it's a chore to get to the spot. So I felt like they should, what they got is fine, but don't take away the solarium in the process. And unfortunately, even with the solariums out on the current ship, they have some problems that some of the solariums, particularly like on the some of the older ships, some of those solariums close down as far as the bar goes at like 6 o'clock. I don't get that. If you're going to be adults only, and again, I'm jumping around different ships here, keep the bar open. Kids aren't going to be at the bar. You're at your solarium. This is adults only. Keep them open. So anyway, again, off on a tangent. Sorry. So I think they could have some more space there. And now they have another area, and it's really cool how they do this ship, as far as where the water show, the aqua show, is going on, and how they've made that into something more grand. There's a food area there, and Hooks is there, the specialty restaurant. But behind this Aquadome area is a place with some real nice loungers and a bar, and it's a real relaxed, chill vibe, but they let kids in. And the kids just, they're kids. They run around and they're in your face and stepping on the furniture, and you're trying to relax. And again, I have no problems with kids. 8 grandkids, no problem. Have their space. They're certainly going out of their way to cater it. Have some space for just the adults to be able to kind of get away from everything. And there's definitely enough place on that ship that I don't think anything would have been missed had they made even just that area and cut it off and made that an adults only area to just relax. I mean, there's no pool there. It's just kind of that area to where it gives you the glass where you can look out and you see the ocean, and it's supposed to be quieter. If there's nothing going on at the Aquadome show, because they do other events there besides just the water show now, so it can get a little bit loud there, but I still think they would have been better off if they'd have made that adults only, or at least start incorporating in some newer ships something that is more adult focused, so where everybody's pleased and not just making it all about the families, because there is plenty for families to do on this cruise. Okay, talking about, another thing that I think they could have maybe done a little better on is, again, I'm in the stateroom here now, and as far as your outlets go, the regular American, I don't know what the official name is, but normal plugs that we would use at home, there's one in the room and one in the bathroom. So I think it's good that they made the bathroom not some, European kind of a thing. There's a place to plug in your stuff. That's good, but it's just on one side of the bed that you can plug something in just with a plug. At the desk area, the only thing that they've got is they've got a European, and they've got one of those that looks like a block that has too many holes in it, and I guess where you can use a converter for. Anyway, I don't know enough about it. I just know it's not a regular plug outlet. There are plenty of USB outlets, and I know that Royal is focusing on trying to get people to use things that are USB related, and I understand the safety end of that comes with using that type of an outlet versus an electrical type of an outlet. So it's hard to argue that point, but if you're going to put a plug in there, I think you're better off having, more than what you've got. Again, there is plenty of plugs in this place for USB. So kudos on that end. Both sides of the beds have it. But yeah, I think putting at least one at the desk area would have been prudent, if not two, because they don't want you to bring the plugs. So you end up using, one of the European plugs, one of these here, and this plugs in to that. Problem is that this is not necessarily a converter in that it does the step down. So you can only plug certain things into this. Well, if you plug the wrong things into it, your stuff burns out. So you can do some simple things, but if you're plugging in, your hair stuff, granted, again, I know they got it in the bathroom, but they got a vanity here so I could see where it get used. But if you're using something like this, if it stays plugged in, again, I'm not an electrician, but I've heard some stories that the power is more and it can burn up your thing. Well, if you're trying to avoid a fire, wouldn't that make sense? I don't know, to not have people plug stuff in the wrong outlet. I don't know, call me crazy. My 2 cents. And I guess if there's another thing, and this could, again, kind of one of those that I think probably goes beyond Icon or Royal Caribbean. I think that I've seen this really on all the ships, the different brands that are out there, and this one's just no different in that, when they're doing their cleaning, I don't know that they necessarily do the cleaning that, considering how many people are using this ship, I don't think it's as in-depth. And I get it, they got to spin these rooms quickly, but because of that, I think that there's a lot of room for, germs and that kind of thing. I'm not a germaphobe, but, I'm bald, so when I see a hair on the floor and I'm the only one in the room, and it's day 1, I know it's not mine. I'm positive it's not mine. So, that seems to happen too much. Happen, same here. And, even on some of those smaller ships, where that curtain's touching you, I know that they don't wash those curtains. If someone is getting, they're sick or whatever, and whatever, coughing, if they're not doing something to at least spray to, disinfect or, sanitize, I just don't know how some of these, I don't think that they do anything to the walls or the surfaces you touch other than a quick wipe. If you can't get some hairs off the floor, I can't believe that you're doing too much other than worrying about putting a little bit of a shine on something versus more of an in-depth cleaning. I have seen really any of the ships that if there's something going on, if there's a sickness, that then they deep clean a little more intense, but you wouldn't have to deep clean more intense if you kind of kept up on it as you go. So that would be another area that, again, doesn't matter the cruise line. It's not a Royal Caribbean thing. That's across the board that I don't think enough is done. So I'll just put that out there as my other thing to be negative about. Don't like to be negative, but it is what it is. And I'm going to leave you on a positive note here because I forgot about it, but I think it's really fair to bring up is that there's a lot of places to get food that's the free food here. A lot of venues, and I think that that's a part of why it doesn't feel as crowded. So, a lot of times you go, say, the Windjammer, and that can be its own frustration right there. But they've got so many other places that you can go. Like I said, they've got the place that's at the Aquadome there where they do the water show, to where there's food. It's all free. Same level as just across the other side of the pool floor, deck 15. One side's Windjammer, the other one's got where the aqua show's at, and this is. They've got the Park Cafe. There's places that you can go to grab something. Obviously, Sorrento's, and that's a little bit of a bigger area there. Again, to where you can really get what you need and not. I've been able to get pizza and have a table every time without worrying about it. At first glance, I go, oh my gosh! But as soon as I look deeper into it, I go, oh, there's all kinds of tables for me. It just didn't feel like it because there's a bigger area, more people. I said I was going to leave you on a positive note. I'm not. There is one other thing that I was just thinking of that because I just left there that I wish they'd done a little differently. Is that because I love going to the Central Park area and having that a little bit of peace and quiet and the birds. And they've got it to where the music that's going on at the pool level easily comes down there, so it lost some of that serenity. It lost a lot of the serenity. I realize there are times when the music isn't going. I get that, but I really liked being able to go to that place and not have all the craziness and just be able to get away and relax. They've got plenty of seating. The ship's done great as far as having seats. There's plenty of seating at the different places along the way, so you can sit. But the noise, I was going to do a video from there, this video from there, and there's just so much pool noise. And I'm not talking about the people, I'm talking about the music that they're playing, that you wouldn't have been able to hear what I was saying. Even if I block out the music, the person that's singing the song would have drowned me out. So that's what I got for you so far. Again, I'm going to have some other videos come out that'll be about, the ship and give an entire tour. I can tell you that I know that the casino, because it's a big casino, that's going to be a longer video. That'll probably be 20 plus minutes long. Most of my casino tours are like, 10 minutes or so, if that. This is a big casino. There's no way around cutting that out to where it's going to be a shorter video. It'll be at least a 20-minute video, I would think, because I've already shot most of it. I just want to get all the machines that were out, that had the power out or the screens off, and get you shots with them on so you can see what the actual games are. So that's coming to you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. It means a lot to the channel, as you know. Put your comments in there. If you've been on the ship or you're looking forward to going on the ship, let me know your experiences or what you're hoping to experience, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.